Fourth grade, we're going to read our last story about Yosemite. This one is called Little Ty Cooney and the Big Yosemite Race by Stephen Riley. Run, Ty, run! All right. There was a day in the month of May when the Yosemite animals raced. El Capitan is where it began, and they all lined up before they ran to make sure their shoes were laced. The morning was bright. 'Twas a beautiful sight to watch the sun come up. Tension was high. The clouds drifted by while all of the runners warmed up. This race was long. This race was hard. It was only for the courageous, for only the strong could run so long on routes that could be so dangerous. Look, you can see the route. Yet upon this day raced one so young, the others thought he was loony. No chance did they give that he'd finish or live. And this brave young lad's name was Ty Cooney. But he was determined, this little raccoon, to overcome this circumstance. In his heart, he knew, as the start whistle blew, that he'd have a fighting chance. For he had practiced long and hard and time again till he could run this route without even a doubt, and he could run it like the wind. There was a morning glow on the valley below as Ty mounted his goat. They started the race down the captain's face while Ty held on to its throat. He made it down fast, and he wasn't the last, but there were some others ahead. He was sure there were 4 and quite possibly more, so he sprinted on toward the Merced. He jumped in the river. Man, it is cold, he thought as he fought its flow. It came from the hills where the great water fills all the falls with the spring's melting snow. He jumped from the river and past Mr. Bear, who was caught completely off guard. You could see the surprise in his big yellow eyes as he was passed like a bucket of lard. A Wani lunch sounded good, as it probably would, but he knew he'd have to forget it, for with others to beat, there was no time to eat. If he stopped, Ty knew he'd regret it. Suddenly, Ty felt the need for some serious speed, and he began to snarl and sneer. He was all hauling real tail as he burned up the trail and kicked it into high gear. Then, just like that, he passed the bobcat. As they turned up the John Muir Trail, Ty just couldn't miss, for with all his practice, he was sure he wouldn't fail. Then, by Vernal Falls, he passed Mr. Squirrel, who was looking so thin and frail, as he panted and swayed in the water that sprayed from the falls along the mist trail. To his right was Nevada, with its tall, dark cliffs, and its water that thundered and fell. Then a smile from inside crossed his lips from the pride that one feels when one's doing so well. He could feel his heartbeat right down to his feet. He wondered how long he would last. Then on ahead toward the lion he sped. He was tired, but still running fast. I'll win, he thought with a grin, as a redwood watched him go. So he picked up the pace at the end of the race while the lion was starting to slow. Then, because of the lion's refusal to train, he just couldn't take any more pain. So among Half Dome's many switchbacks, the lion stopped and collapsed in his tracks. Then with a burst of magnificent speed, little Ty Cooney took control of the lead. Then Ty had to stop right there at the top of Half Dome to find a way down. He found a great bird. Though it does sound absurd, they flew off the cliff toward the ground. Ty was feeling so fine as he crossed over the line, and a smile broke forth from within. Though Ty was so small, he'd just beat them all. And that's why this book's named after him. So ended that day in the month of May. The big race was over and done. It was a big day for raccoons. They set free their balloons, for little Ty Cooney had won. And then, oh here, Mrs. Whaley's going to show you. This is how you would draw Ty. Our author wanted to share that. First, you're going to draw a circle. Then you're going to draw the sides of Ty's head. And then draw his eyes and nose. And then draw the curved line above Ty's nose and his mask and his smile. And there you go. So after you're done with the story, you can actually practice doing a drawing of Ty Cooney. Okay, Mrs. Whaley, I'll see you next week.